everyone. I am Lavika from ITM Business School, Navi Mumbai, and I am interning with the DORAI Foundation for my Social Connect NGO program. And today we have here Dr. Narayan Iyer. He is the co-founder and CEO of Indian Development Foundation, and his foundation is committed to health education and development of India. And his foundation was also recently felicitated by the government of Maharashtra for their outstanding work. So we are really grateful to have you here, sir, today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invite.
And my first question to you is what led you to incorporate this foundation?
Yes, first of all, greetings to everyone. All those students who are here, Riddhi, Shivam, we have Ritika, we have Shobna, Sanjay, Siddhant, Gurpreet, and of course Lavika. I think these are the only members which I could see. Right? Yeah. So, happy afternoon to everyone. ITM and IDF, we have been partnering for many years, more than a decade on very social responsibility. And though it would have been better that we would have all met physically, but now it's a time where people are meeting virtually. But of course, job is done. That is what is important. We are able to do many more tasks than what we would have done when we were doing it physically, because the travel time is saved. So of course, yeah, let me talk about the organization. The organization Indian Development Foundation is formerly known as Indian Leprosy Foundation. The founder is Dr. A.R.K. Pillai. He is the founder, and the main intention or the main focus of the organization was to remove leprosy from India. So leprosy eradication was the main program of the organization. When India had 4 million cases of leprosy, at a time when social stigma, misconceptions were ruling, and the diseases were in big number, and you had medicines at the other end. Though the disease which was the problem, we can say the problem which was spotted in the year 1873 by Dr. Armor Hansen from Norway. The first medicine was found in 1950. Yeah, so it took around 70 years plus for a drug to be found out. In a time when in COVID-19 we are able to find vaccines so faster. Earlier days it took 70 years for the first medicine, and the second dose of multi combination or multi drug it took 30 more years. Though the science and technology has advanced today, so the focus of removing leprosy from 4 million to 100,000 cases was successful, and Dr. Pillai, being the founder of the organization, he was part of the Health Commission set up by the then Prime Minister, Madam Indira Gandhi, under the chairmanship of Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, father of Green Revolution of India. So they both came together, and along with a lot of scientists and medical team, they have designed a strategy by which they could see that how communication could play a very important role. Awareness could play a very important, because reaching out information to the people is very important today. If we are able to control and contain the intensity and the spread of the problem in this country, it is only because of the communication that we have. Earlier those days these things were not in place, but those days the organization was taken up with an intention. The organization was started looking into awareness creation, connecting patients to doctors, and the success story was 4 million to 100,000 cases. And I, for one, joined the organization when I was in grade 11. Dr. Pillai, founder, caught me when I was very young, and he thought, yes, he's a boy. So it was a divine connect for me, where I could get connected to him, and there's no look back. I could continue with my education, and for that time, in fact, my childhood days, I had a lot of challenges. I thought I was waiting for an opportunity, and I'm an opportunity grabber, so I don't miss any opportunity. So when Lavika gave me an opportunity, I thought I should grab it and let me address all my students over here, because I love talking to students. That's my main forte, because awareness has been one of the programs during this journey of 3 decades, which I have been part of this organization. So I could interact to physically around 2 million students. I'm sure with virtually I can go in a big way from now onward, but that has been a successful area. So the journey has been wonderful, meeting people. Thank you so much. Yeah. So the journey is beautiful because I meet lovely people wherever I go with a lot of enthusiasm, and I don't need food. Meeting people, food is for energizing. So when I meet people, when I talk to people, I get energized and I feel very happy. And the life has been smooth so far, no regrets of any sort, very happy. So I call it as goodness journey. So through this goodness journey, the travel has been so big. I'm sure, Lavika, you may have further more questions to ask. I don't want to interrupt because the
Yes.
journey. Uh,
So now your organization has grown at a very big level. So are there any challenges like to take this organization at that level, which it is now?
See, the any step that is taken, it's called as humble beginning. So you start with a small step. We cannot go so far. Dr. Kalam has also said that you launch a rocket, it may fall down one time, two time, three time. But of course, you start local, then it becomes global. So we started with local, then it spread across to national level and today international level. So students who interned with us have also now set up across the world where we have, offices or we have our connects with IDF USA, IDF UK, IDF Australia, IDF UAE. So things are improving. Many people are coming. So children who interned with us have become grandparents, and their children are interning with us. So it's a wonderful journey. So once an IDFR remains an IDFR, and more so, it's a goodness journey. I'm sure Lavika, for that matter, will remain. ITM team members have remained so far. In fact, wherever they were, they have remained part of the journey. They have never given up. I could see people sitting in corporate offices signing checks for organization. Oh, this is the organization where I have already interned during my this year, that year as a school student. So this happens. So the when the goodness gates are open, so there are no four walls, so there is no barricade as such, and we welcome everyone. We take the opportunity from all ends that are coming in, and we are open to give information and knowledge to. We don't hold anything. That's our main hallmark. Giving is our main forte.
Yes, I would be really grateful if I could ever get a chance to work for you or intern for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And sir, there are many other programs also that your foundation takes care of, like
Yeah,
development and education and
right,
awareness.
right.
So, can you tell us something about that?
Yes, Lavika. So what has happened is, as the leprosy figures were coming down from 4 million to 100,000 cases, as the target was set by 2020, by 2000, sorry, 2000, the numbers were supposed to be brought down. So there was a scientific strategic management which was in place, which could work well. As today, as students like you are seeing how the vaccines are going place to place, how the strategic managements are done, how it is reaching out. So these things were planned those days for leprosy per se. As you say that a generation before were working for polio and three generations before were working for smallpox. So everything is under a set schedule by which it flows through. There are prototypes, there are trials that are being done, and from trials to then it goes into multiple levels. So same thing happened with leprosy, and then we could see the success that are the patients are being accepted by the family. The myths and the misconceptions that leprosy is caused by the curse of God. It's a hereditary disease. It's a contagious disease. All these things we removed it, and the leprosy in mind were also removed over a period of time. Then we had a interaction and quite a number of times with Dr. Kalam sir. So that was a great eye opener for us. And I, for one, could meet him for 6 times and interact with him and get to know about many things. Where he said that, Narayan, you should now work for the development of the country through grassroots level, as we could reach out to a lot of villages in the country. We found that education plays a very important role in transformation of any society. As you look into the four pillars set by the United Nations, that any development, any transformation, any progress of a state or a society, the four major pillars. The first pillar is education. The second is health. The third is workforce, and the fourth is environment. So if you talk about an environment, if you talk about Swachh Bharat, and if the person is uneducated, things will not work. If you talk about coronavirus and if the person is uneducated, things will not work. If you are uneducated and your workforce will not be all right. So if your education is all right, your health automatically becomes all right. Your workforce, you have quality production that takes place because the people are all educated. Automatically, the environment, the civic sense comes into the system of every human being. Education plays a very important role. So as I was traveling to different parts of the country, I visited villages like Langadevas, Nonpura in Rajasthan. Luckily, I could visit all the 29 states in the country. I felt very happy meeting people. So here were some villages where children had no access to mirror. They had not seen their face on a mirror. Education had not reached them. So I thought, let us start an education intervention over there. So the first innovative educational intervention was started in Langadevas, Nonpura, and Papad. These three villages in Rajasthan, in the close proximity to Jaipur, we can say, where children were given education. So we called it as Bal Gurukul. So Bal Gurukul was the first educational, flagship program of IDF, which we started in 2005. And as we stand in 2021, we have around 250 Bal Gurukuls in the country, and over 100,000 children have crossed through or walked through the portals of Bal Gurukuls. So we have now, you have to set the first prototype. That second, you can just copy paste it and then you see how it works beautifully well. We have around 250 from JK to KK, Leh Ladakh onwards to Kanyakumari, that is Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and Gujarat to Assam. So to the length and breadth of the country, it is increasing, though the demands are there for 500 plus Balgurukuls to be started. But of course, the resources are in place. We need resources. We need a lot of resources to start students like you coming up. So we have made it a very economical educational intervention, because I could make the presentation at IIM Ahmedabad, IIT, where they found that yes, it's one of the most innovative one, where as low as by paying 25,000 rupees for an adoption of a Bal Gurukul in an annum, per annum, you can adopt a Bal Gurukul as low as that. So you can take care of 50 students. So if somebody wants to pledge support for a Bal Gurukul, we can either start a Bal Gurukul, or you can take over a Bal Gurukul and say that this is run by Lavika is sponsoring this Bal Gurukul. I'm just giving an example. so so this is as low as that. So it comes to 2,000 rupees is what the amount that we pay for the teachers. So it has scaled up. Of course, education, we have many other projects that we have started, educational sponsorship program for children. Then we have a leadership program for children. Maverism is very important. You need to be pagal to start any program. So that Maverism caught me, and I read through the Green Revolution, the White Revolution of Dr. Korean, Varghese Korean. I thought the third revolution that need to hit in this country is Grey Revolution, and knowledge is a gray matter, where knowledge is available in abundance at one place and there is dearth of knowledge at the other end. Why don't we engineer the knowledge bank? Why don't we channelize the knowledge bank? Now with technology, you are able to reach out more. And earlier, of course, there were volunteers with who is to visit schools, who is to share knowledge, and who is to empower students. So what we found is, if you go to a school and ask a child, "What's your name?" the child fumbles. The child is not able to get up, stand up, and speak. Because the courage in the student is not there, because the educational environment has not been provided for a student to be confident and speak. To come and speak before an audience is an art by itself, which is being taught in MBA. So one need not travel up to MBA level to understand how do you shake hand and how do you smile and how do you talk. If you are given the inputs in the school level, I'm talking about the schools like municipal schools to the slum schools, where children and the environment from where they're coming, the parents will say that started a mentorship program, and we have in last 4 years we have created 100,000 student leaders in India, where the children can speak to 1,000 people without fear. You ask a child, the parents are flabbergasted. The parents are feeling that, oh, how my child got transformed, how my child got changed over a period of time, because the capsule that we have designed is so beautiful that you just have to route it through the mentor, and the student accepts it very well. Because a teacher in a school, what happens is, the teacher has to teach according to the syllabus, curriculum centric, because there is a demand from the management, there is demand from the board, there are exams coming in for which the other things cannot be taught. So there are time limitations. So a mentor plays an important role who visits the school and teaches the children once in a week. So this has gained success over a period of time. Yes. So student leadership program is again catching up. Of course, this is under the education front. I'm sure I'm waiting for your other questions to come also.
Yes, sir. I think there is a very huge role that a mentor can play. They even like motivate the children to be confident.
Yeah.
So, did you ever have a mentor or somebody that you would look up to when you were young?
Though it was a divine, yes, mentor is very important. So what happens is, I am a big believer of Swami Vivekananda, and he says that when the disciple is ready, the guru appears. जब शिष्य ready हो जाते हैं, तो गुरु अपने आप आ जाते हैं. तो मैं तैयार था एंड मेरे लिए डॉक्टर पिल्ले आ गए थे एंड इट वाज अ डिवाइन एंड व्हाट हैपेंस इज फॉर मेनी पीपल such type of gurus and mentors do appear, but how do you take and how do you accept them at that point of time? Some may neglect, some may overlook, but to accept at that point, which is very important for me. I immediately took it, and he taught me many things, because whatever I am today, I am his making. That's what I can say. Because coming from a the municipal school background, coming from a Hindi medium background, and I'm able to translate, I'm able to talk to you in a language which is a universal language. Is again, this has been a practice that has been put into us, that yes, we need to communicate, we need to be a master class, master trainers, we need to be world class trainers. First class तो सभी हो जाते हैं, world class होना बहुत जरूरी है. So how do you get that world class instinct into you is very important. So of course, these were all the I need to give full credit to Dr. Pillai, who is 93-year young man, most energetic, most dynamic. He is my everything.
And so your NGO also assists, assists the government in implementing developmental plans. So how does a NGO like help with it? Like, can you explain that?
Yeah,
How
for
does
example,
it help the government in assisting in those plans?
yeah. So there are a lot of programs, education programs, health programs, women development programs, skill development programs. So government has their own plan of action where they have to work. So they have to network with NGOs who are either civil society organizations, or they're called as NGOs or NPOs, or whatever you can say, CBOs. There are also community-based organizations. So these people who are into the grassroots level, who know public on a day-to-day basis, the mindset of the people, as the teacher knows student well. So we know, if you ask the principal, may not the student know, the principal or the management of an institution may not know the student well, but the teachers will know well. So we are with the community, we are with the people. So there is a intervention that happens where the NGOs are called in for assisting the programs when they're set up. Like for example, even in COVID-19 time, we were there. Leprosy programs, we were there. Combing operations take place in a big way. Like for example, if there are education programs are coming up, so what we do is we go to the rural belt and do a combing operation. इतने बच्चे यहाँ पर स्कूल नहीं जाते हैं, इतनी लड़कियां स्कूल नहीं जाती हैं. All these things. So we give them the database, the most authentic database, which helps the government to take it up. There are also, in fact, not blaming the government, because they have their own priorities and things like that. And we cannot wait till the time the government comes. So we have to be in the forefront, and whatever is possible from the NGO side, we do. And we also sensitize people and say that, hey, look, to the neighbor also, that your neighbor needs support. So please wake up. See that you need to give your support to your neighbor too. Don't wait for somebody, the divine thing to come. You are the God to him. So we need to sensitize. We need to tell. You can also do that. So as low as or as simple as a smile that is possible, which is very important, which helps the people to come up. So of course, IDF or NGO per se helps the government bodies for the developmental plans, in assisting, in collaborating, and in also scaling up the operations wherever it comes through. So government are assisted from time to time, and they feel very happy partnering, because as we are in an era of networking, we are in an era of partnering, we are in an era of working together, teamwork, which is very important. Alone somebody cannot do. You need to have team, then only you can progress.
Yes, sir. Like everybody has, I think everybody should be responsible a little bit to help, give back to the society, no matter what they're doing.
Right.
Like, especially when there is a lot of disparity nowadays. Like, 1% of the population is very extremely rich, and a lot of population does not even, like, I think a lot of, like, 30% of the population of the world may not even know that sort of money is there or not. So, do
Correct.
you think that 1% should be morally obliged by their country or the government to give something back? Because, like, how capitalism works, they have no accountability, especially in USA. Like,
Yeah.
the billionaires, they don't have to pay taxes, and their companies don't even pay federal taxes and things like that. So, do you think there is a social responsibility that, or a moral responsibility even, that people should be held to?
Yeah. So the sensitization, moral responsibility, social responsibility. If you look from the corporate angle, yes, this has been there from Tata's time, Birla's time. They were all doing that before all these laws and things have come in place. And people were supporting also. Like for example, if you look from social angle, you if you ask your parents, they would be feeding poor people. These were all part of their. अभी इसको हम लोग उसको सोशल एंगल एक we give them a definition. Earlier it was part of your life. The dogs will come, उसको खाना रखना है. There will be a fakir coming. उनके लिए we need to give something. So this was a system that was in place. Of course, sharing resources, as you talk about the wealth sharing, which is taking place now, as people are sensitizing, they understand that we need to have only so we need to need we need only so much of wealth for our lifetime. The rest are all excess. So before we pass through the portals of this life, let us share or do good what is possible. They we say between life and death, the life that we live here is what we need to be. We can do best. So sensitization is happening. COVID-19 has taught many people. In fact, it has taught many lessons which to all those people who have not gone to the university and also those who have gone to the university. COVID-19 has been a big life lesson giver who taught many people, yes, we can do wonders. So everybody became a social worker. Many people wanted to do. Some could not do because they could not come out and do, but many have done, and many are doing now. So this sensitization has taken place. Yes, individuals should come forward. We look from international perspective. We have Bill Gates, we have Warren Buffett, and many other people who have pledged their wealth for the development of the country and things like that. And also we have from in our own country, we have Tata, we have Azim Premji, we have Nadar. So many people, many institutions. There are small times to big times. Many are coming forward and helping. If you look at the time when Mahatma Gandhi was sitting for resource mobilization. In fact, resource mobilization used to happen even at that time, where funds were required for the development of the country. So there were people from GD Birla to many people who were standing in line to share resources. But there was one lady who was also standing in the queue, and all the philanthropists of the highest order were looking, who is this lady whom we have never met? And she was also standing in the line. And when her turn came, she walked up and to Gandhiji, and she opened from her sari pallo. She had that one coin which she had, one paise or whatever small amount that she gave it. And he said, this is more valuable than any other money that, because others have parted a percent, but she had given 100%. So people are a big giver. If you look from middle to lower middle class are givers, higher middle class are also givers, but they have their own strategy to give. But the giving attitude has caught up well, particularly looking from the younger generations like Lavika and your own teammates. You all want to give, but when to give, how to give is very important, right? People try to reserve some things. Okay, contingency we may say, no, मुझे फ्यूचर डेज के लिए कुछ रखना है. सब लोग कुछ कहता है कि मुझे अभी दे दो, फ्यूचर की बात बाद में देख लेंगे. So things are happening in different way. Like we also have a lot of friends who have come in saying that Both my daughters are settled in USA. I have a property in UP, Bihar, or in Rajasthan. I have a flat in Mumbai, and me and my wife are staying. So they want to donate properties. So that's also coming up in a big way. People want to donate land. So children don't want parents' money, and parents don't want children money. So there is something in between. So they want to also give it as a charity. So these things are also taking place in a big way now, and it's all for the developmental growth of the society at large. Good things are happening. Many good things are happening.
Yes, sir. I think especially during the lockdown time, I think we saw a very huge increase in the social work that we say that people came out together to help everybody in a small way, just in your own society or in around the area that
Right.
you are living. Change would you love to see in this society this new year?
Yeah, the change that we want to see is, yes, it's a total literacy. Education is very important. If you see education, we need to. There has to be the messages of unconditional love, unconditional giving, oneness in approach, which should be there. I should be same. I should have same approach with Lavika and as I have with anybody else for that matter. So that should not be disparity of anything. So the oneness attitude should come in people. Unconditional giving should come in people. People should not feel if I give this, I should get this. So these things should. So this will evolve with education in place. So I think we need to work on providing education and skills in our people, and we can see wonders can happen. Of course, I have created a project called Mission Wonder also, because Wonder is a project to create 1 million teachers by 2030. So again, that I'm working that India needs a lot of teachers and a lot of good teachers. So we go to villages, we talk to people if you want to become a teacher, because there is dearth of teachers in the society. If you look into the literacy number, and if you look into the teachers with commitment level, so if we channelize through our program, we can create role model teachers and then send them across to. There are people who may pull your leg saying that, oh, there is no good scope for a teacher. If you ask a teacher doesn't want to make her daughter or a son a teacher, because he or she feel that, oh, I am myself in problem, I don't want my children to be in problem. But no, that is not the case. We can see a lot of youngsters also becoming teachers. So we are into creating teachers. Yes, this has been our major role play. We need to see that unconditional giving, unconditional love, and openness and oneness should come through. And education plays a very important role.
Yes, I think education is the key to development.
Yes.
Any sort of development, education is like really vital. And we would love, but since the interview needs to be wrapped up now, I am really thankful that you took out time today to
Yeah.
come here and create awareness about a lot of different things and about the projects that you've been doing for the world. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, sir. And over to Shobna, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
And firstly, I would like to wish you and your family a good health and a prosperous new year ahead.
Thank you.
And we are really blessed, and we thank you for your valuable time you spent. I'm sure this it will really help the students and change their mindset. You yourself are such a beautiful person. You've only absorbed goodness, and you wish to see the goodness spread around. And I'm sure when you start something with good intention, and everything falls in place, because the intention itself is so good that positivity keeps flowing and things automatically happen. You come in contact with good people, and therefore a good environment is created. And when so many good hearted people come together, definitely a positive aura is created, and that you know completes the work and you've taken in hand, and it yields positive results. So I'm so blessed. I feel myself so blessed to have
Oh my
met you
God.
today, and the students will be taking a lot more from you, and hope to meet you someday in person. And thank you so much for your valuable time.